Before we start, I need you to know something. This story is messy, it's raw, and there were moments I didn't think I'd survive to tell it. But if you're watching this because you're struggling, because you're barely holding it together, because everyone thinks you're fine but you're screaming inside, this is for you. My name is Jennifer, and this is the story of how losing everything taught me what it means to be strong. Let me take you back to who I used to be. 5 years ago, I was the person everyone came to for answers. The problem solver. The leader. The one who had her life together. Or at least that's what my LinkedIn profile said. I worked in corporate management, led a team of 12 people, and honestly, I was good at it. Really good at it. But here's what nobody tells you about being the strong one. It becomes your entire identity. People don't ask if you're okay because you're always okay. You don't ask yourself if you're okay because there's no time. There's always another deadline, another crisis to manage, another person who needs you to have it all figured out. I remember my mom once asked me, "Sweetie, when was the last time you took a real break?" And I laughed. I actually laughed at her. I said, "Mom, successful people don't take breaks. They make sacrifices." I really believed that. I wore my exhaustion like a badge of honor. My anxiety, that was just ambition. My insomnia, that was dedication. Looking back now, I can see the warning signs everywhere. But when you're in it, when you've built your entire sense of self on being unbreakable, you don't see the cracks. Not until everything comes crashing down. It was a Tuesday. Isn't it always a Tuesday? My boss called me into her office. Not unusual. We had these check-ins all the time. But this time HR was there. And I knew. Before anyone said a word, I knew. Restructuring. Budget cuts. It's not about performance. The words washed over me like white noise. He nodded, smiled. I even thanked them for the opportunity. Because that's what you do when you're the strong one. You make it easy for everyone else. Even when they're destroying you. The walk to my desk felt like a funeral procession. 23 steps. I counted every single one. People avoided my eyes. Some pretended to be on phone calls. One person, Karen from accounting, actually hid in the bathroom. I packed my desk in 17 minutes. A plant my team gave me for my birthday. A world's best boss mug I used to think was ironic. Photos of moments that suddenly felt like they belonged to someone else. And then I walked out. Into the parking lot. Into my car. And I sat there. Just sat there. For 2 hours. Because I had nowhere to go. Not physically, I had a home. But emotionally, psychologically, I had just lost my compass. And I had no idea who I was without that job title next to my name. The first week I kept my routine. I woke up at 6 a.m. I got dressed in work clothes. I sat at my dining table with my laptop and pretended to work. Because if I could just maintain the structure, maybe I could maintain myself. Maybe I could hold it together. Week 2, the routine cracked. I stopped setting alarms. Stopped getting dressed. My LinkedIn was flooded with job postings, but every time I tried to update my resume, I'd stare at the screen and nothing. Who was I? What did I have to offer? Without that title, without that team, without that purpose. Who the hell was Jennifer? Friends reached out. Course they did. How are you holding up? Let's grab coffee. Everything happens for a reason. And I lied. I lied to every single one of them. I'm good. Just taking some time to figure out my next move. Because admitting the truth that I was falling apart felt like admitting I was weak. And I couldn't be weak. Not me. Not Jennifer, who has her life together. That's when the insomnia really kicked in. 3, 4, sometimes 5 nights a week I just lie there, staring at the ceiling, running through every conversation, every decision, every moment of my career, trying to figure out where I went wrong. Replaying that meeting over and over, wondering if I could have done something different, been someone different. And then it happened. The first panic attack. I was at the grocery store, Safeway, aisle 7, between the cereal and the coffee. I was holding a box of granola, deciding between honey nut and maple, when suddenly my chest got tight. Really tight. Like someone was sitting on my ribcage. My vision started to tunnel. My hands went numb. And I genuinely, completely thought I'm having a heart attack. I'm going to die in the cereal aisle at Safeway at 32 years old. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. People were staring. Someone asked if I was okay and I couldn't even answer. I just ran. Left my cart, left my dignity, and ran to my car. And I sat there gasping, crying, completely convinced I was dying. Took 45 minutes for my heart rate to come down. And when it did, I felt more scared than before. Because if that wasn't a heart attack, what was it? Dr. Google told me everything from heart disease to lung cancer. I scheduled 3 different doctor's appointments, got an EKG, blood work, chest x-rays. Everything came back normal. You're perfectly healthy, they said. And I wanted to scream. Then why do I feel like I'm dying? The panic attacks became a regular thing. Sometimes once a week. Sometimes 3 times in one day. I stopped going places. Stopped seeing people. Because what if it happened again? What if I broke down in front of someone? What if they saw that I wasn't okay? I became a master of the performance. The "I'm fine" text. The "just busy with applications" excuse. The carefully curated social media posts about embracing this new chapter. But behind the screen, I was drowning. I forced myself to go to my friend Rachel's birthday party. 'Cause I thought maybe if I just act normal I'll start feeling normal. Maybe I can fake it till I make it. So I put on makeup. It took 3 tries because my hands were shaking. I put on a dress and I showed up. And for exactly 47 minutes, I held it together. Smiled. I laughed at jokes. I told people about exciting opportunities I was exploring. And then someone, I don't even remember who, asked me, "So what do you do?" And I froze. Because I didn't know how to answer. I used to be able to answer that question in my sleep. But now I was nothing. I locked myself in the bathroom and had another panic attack. Rachel knocked on the door asking if I was okay. And I said, "I'll never forget this," I said. "I'm fine. Just drank too much champagne." Then I climbed out the bathroom window and went home. I literally climbed out a bathroom window to avoid admitting I wasn't okay. That night I hit bottom. And I don't mean that metaphorically. I mean I sat on my bathroom floor at 2 a.m. and I couldn't see a way forward. I couldn't see a future where I wasn't like this. Where I wasn't broken. And for the first time in my life, I understood what it meant to feel truly hopeless. If you've ever been there, in that place where it feels like the darkness is permanent, I need you to hear this. What saved me wasn't strength. It wasn't positive thinking. It wasn't just pushing through. What saved me was something I thought I'd never do. The next morning I called my mom. And when she answered, I broke. I completely shattered. No performance. No pretending. Just raw, honest, ugly crying. And I told her everything. Panic attacks. The insomnia. The fact that I couldn't remember the last time I felt like myself. The fact that I was scared all the time and I didn't know why. She didn't tell me to be strong. She didn't tell me to push through. She just said, "I think you need help, sweetheart. And that's okay. You've been carrying this alone for too long." I made an appointment with my primary care doctor for that afternoon. And sitting in that waiting room felt like admitting defeat. Like I was giving up. Like I was confirming that I was weak, that I couldn't handle life, that I was fundamentally broken. When Dr. Patterson asked me how I was doing, I tried to hold it together. I tried to be clinical, detached, professional. "I've been experiencing some stress-related symptoms. That's how I started." But she looked at me, really looked at me, and she said, "Jennifer, when was the last time you felt happy?" And I couldn't answer. I opened my mouth. Nothing came out except sobs. 5 months of holding it together, of being strong, of maintaining the performance. It all came pouring out. And I told her everything. Panic attacks. The insomnia. The constant anxiety. The feeling like I was outside my own body, watching my life happen to someone else. The terrifying thoughts I'd been having. She didn't judge me. She didn't tell me I was overreacting. She said, "What you're describing sounds like severe anxiety and depression." And I want to refer you to someone who specializes in this." And then she said something I'll never forget. "Jennifer, asking for help isn't giving up. It's the bravest thing you can do." I walked out of that office with a referral to a psychologist, a prescription for antidepressants, and a feeling I hadn't had in months. Hope. Tiny, fragile, terrifying hope. Because maybe, just maybe, I wasn't broken beyond repair. Maybe this had a name. And if it had a name, maybe it had a treatment. Took me 3 days to call the psychologist. I pick up the phone, dial the first few numbers, and hang up. Because calling meant admitting I needed therapy. And people like me didn't need therapy. Therapy was for people who couldn't handle their problems. Therapy was for people who were actually broken. I was actually broken. And I couldn't handle my problems. And maybe that was okay. So I called. And I made the appointment. And I felt absolutely terrified. Dr. Sarah Martinez's office didn't look like what I expected. It was warm, comfortable. There was a succulent on her desk and abstract art on the walls. She was younger than I thought she'd be. And she smiled when I walked in. "So, Jennifer, why are you here today?" asked Dr. Martinez. Such a simple question. But I couldn't answer it at first. Because saying it out loud felt like making it real. Like once I admitted it, there was no going back to pretending I was fine. And there it was. The truth. Out in the open. No performance. No mask. Just me admitting I was struggling. And you know what happened? The world didn't end. She didn't laugh. She didn't tell me I was weak. She just nodded and said, "Thank you for sharing that. That took a lot of courage." Therapy wasn't a magic fix. It wasn't like in the movies where you have one breakthrough session and suddenly you're cured. It was hard work. Really hard work. We unpacked years of conditioning. The messages I'd internalized about what it meant to be strong, about what it meant to be successful, about what it meant to be worthy. Dr. Martinez helped me see how I'd been running on a hamster wheel of my own making. How I'd tied my entire identity to external validation. How I'd never learned to define success on my own terms. How I'd been so busy being what everyone needed me to be that I'd forgotten who I actually was. Dr. Martinez said, "Your panic attacks. They're not a sign that you're broken. They're a sign that your body has been trying to tell you something is wrong, and you haven't been listening. Your panic attacks. They're not a sign that you're broken. They're a sign that your body has been trying to tell you something is wrong, and you haven't been listening." That hit me like a truck. My anxiety wasn't the enemy. It was a messenger. It was my body's way of screaming, "Hey, we need help here." And instead of listening, I'd been trying to silence it, to push through it, to be stronger than it. Starting medication was another huge hurdle. Because medication felt like admitting I really couldn't do this on my own. That my brain needed chemical help to function properly. I spent 2 weeks with a prescription sitting on my counter, unopened, before I finally took the first pill. The medication didn't make me feel different overnight. But gradually, so gradually I almost didn't notice, the constant buzzing in my brain started to quiet. The panic attacks became less frequent. I could sleep more than 4 hours a night. I could go to the grocery store without my heart racing. Small victories, tiny steps, but they added up. Dr. Martinez gave me homework, school homework, journaling, breathing exercises, cognitive behavioral techniques. And I attacked it with the same intensity I'd attacked my career. Because if I was going to do this, I was going to do it right. Dr. Martinez in his correction said, "Jennifer, this isn't another thing to excel at. You don't get an A+ in healing. There's no perfect way to do this." That was a hard lesson. Learning that healing isn't linear. That some days would be better than others. That progress doesn't mean never having bad days. It means having the tools to cope when you do. I think I've been so focused on being strong that I never let myself be human. Jennifer said, "Healing wasn't a straight line. Some weeks I felt like I was making progress. Other weeks I felt like I was right back at the beginning. But even the setbacks taught me something. They taught me that feeling bad doesn't mean I've failed. It means I'm human. I started rebuilding my life, but differently this time. I took morning walks. Not because I had to hit 10,000 steps, but because the sunrise was beautiful and I wanted to see it. I started cooking again. I read books that had nothing to do with professional development. I let myself be unproductive, and it felt good. I reached out to friends. Real conversations this time. No performance. When Rachel asked how I was doing, I told her the truth. I'm struggling. I'm in therapy. Some days are really hard. And you know what she said? Thank you for telling me. I've been struggling too. That's when I realized. Everyone is fighting battles you know nothing about. My friend Karen had postpartum depression. My colleague Marcus had been on anxiety medication for years. My neighbor Emily saw a therapist every week. But nobody talked about it. We were all suffering alone, thinking we were the only ones. I started job hunting again, but with a different approach. I wasn't looking for the next rung on the ladder. I was looking for something that aligned with who I was, not who I thought I should be. I turned down 2 positions that would have paid more but would have recreated the same toxic cycle. I see you have a gap here. Can you tell me about that? The interviewer asked. I took time off to address some health issues. And it was the best decision I've ever made. It taught me about boundaries, about balance, about what really matters. I'm ready to bring that wisdom to my next role. Jennifer responded. Got that job. Not because I pretended to be perfect, but because I was honest about being human. Got that job. Not because I pretended to be perfect, but because I was honest about being human. And my boss later told me that honesty was what made her want to hire me. This time I set boundaries from day one. I didn't check email after 6 p.m. I took my lunch break. I asked for help when I needed it. And the world didn't end. In fact, I did better work than I ever had before. Because I wasn't running on empty. I wasn't performing. I was just being myself. I still see Dr. Martinez. Not every week anymore, but regularly. Because therapy isn't something you graduate from. It's maintenance. It's caring for your mental health the same way you'd care for your physical health. And there's no shame in that. I still take medication. And I'm not ashamed of that anymore. If I had diabetes, I'd take insulin without thinking twice about it. My brain needs this chemical support to function at its best. And that's okay. The woman I am today is not the woman I was before that job loss. She's not even the woman I was during the breakdown. She's someone new. Someone who knows her limits and respects them. Someone who asks for help without apologizing for it. Someone who defines strength on her own terms. If you're watching this and you're in that dark place, the place where you're barely holding on, where you're performing strength while crumbling inside, I need you to hear this. You are not weak for struggling. You are not broken for needing help. You are not a failure for not being able to do it all. You're human. And being human means sometimes we need support. Sometimes we need medication. Sometimes we need therapy. Sometimes we need to break down before we can rebuild. The strongest thing I ever did wasn't leading that team or hitting those quarterly targets or climbing the corporate ladder. The strongest thing I ever did was sit on my bathroom floor at 2 a.m. and admit I couldn't do it alone. The strongest thing I ever did was make that phone call to a therapist. The strongest thing I ever did was take that first pill even though it terrified me. Healing isn't pretty. It's not Instagram worthy. It's messy and uncomfortable, and sometimes you feel worse before you feel better. But it's real. And it's possible. And you deserve it. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, it's this. Asking for help is not giving up. Showing up. It's choosing yourself. It's saying, I matter enough to fight for my well-being. And that's the bravest, strongest, most powerful thing you can do. I'm going to put resources in the description. Crisis hotlines, therapy directories, information about different types of treatment, financial assistance programs for those who can't afford private care. You have options. You have support. You just have to reach for it. To the person who's been the strong one their whole life, you can rest. You can be vulnerable. You can admit you're struggling. And you will still be loved. You will still be worthy. You will still be you. To the person who thinks therapy is for other people, it's for everyone, including you, especially you. To the person who's scared of medication, talk to your doctor. Ask questions. Get educated. Make an informed decision for yourself. But don't let stigma make that decision for you. And to the person who thinks they're too far gone, too broken, too damaged to heal, you're not. I promise you, you're not. I've been in that place. And I'm here. And if I can make it through, so can you. This video was really hard to make. I rewrote it 7 times. Cried through 3 takes. Because even now, even after all this healing, there's still a part of me that's scared of what people will think. Scared of seeming weak. Scared of being judged. But here's what I know now. The opinions of people who judge you for being human don't matter. The people who matter, the people who truly love you, they'll show up. They'll support you. They'll be grateful you trusted them with your truth. If this video helped you, if it resonated with you, I'd love for you to share it. Not for the algorithm, not for the views, but because someone in your life might need to hear this. Someone might be drowning in silence, thinking they're the only one. And knowing they're not alone might save their life. You're not alone. Your struggle is valid. Your pain is real. And your healing is possible. I'm living proof. And I'm rooting for you.